Good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a good one. Probably better than Elon is. So, I've spoken a little bit about politics throughout, I would say, the last couple weeks, days, maybe months, partly, right? Because this channel isn't particularly focused on politics too much, but I do ever so often cover them, or I wouldn't say really cover them. More like it just kind of a result of what I'm talking about. Usually anything dealing with Asmund Gold or Hassan Pike or stuff like that, I do occasionally cover because, let me be real. Views go up, number goes up, stuff like that. But at the same time, I do have certain opinions about them. I wouldn't call my opinion about certain things fair all the time, but I still have an opinion. Maybe it doesn't matter. Who cares? But I'm just here for the shit show because I think people like me who are, let me be real, I voted for Trump 3 times, 2016, 2020, and then back in 2024. I'm pretty sure I made that kind of clear. Yeah, I've made this very clear in this channel. Big time Trump supporter. But I feel like with the current stuff with Elon and Trump isn't really new. And when I mean not new, this has been going on at least since the beginning of December, right? Or at least late December, early January. I mean, hell. I mean, we saw him had a meltdown like what a couple of weeks ago during when the tariff began. Elon Musk was having a massive meltdown, and it seems like he's having another meltdown as we speak. Now, I'm using drama alert on the ground that they have a good timeline of change of things are going on and what's been happening, right? So I'm using that as sort of the baseline of this, right? Of these things, right? Let's watch this video.
Yes, I would. I think that less so because you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole.
Yeah, a lot is happening as we speak. It's so much is happening, right? It is just kind of crazy how all of this is happening in real time as we currently speak. Right? Now, why is that exactly? Why is this all kind of happening? From my understanding, right? Because I had to kind of quickly crash courses before I made this video. Was from my understanding, it was about the big beautiful bill that Trump is planning to pass, right? So we're going to use this at the beginning of our timeline. So without me, Trump would have lost the election, Dem would have controlled the House, and Republic would be 51-49. I don't believe that. This is very arrogant to say that because I feel like already around I want to say between July and all the way up to October, there was a massive sway of people just voting for Trump, or they were planning to vote for Trump. I wouldn't be surprised if there were a lot of people. And this isn't going to be the first tweet. We're going to look at a bunch of other tweets from people I generally do like. Mr. Z and Lavazar are probably a good one. Melody Mac and the Quartering. The Quartering made a good video if you want to understand. Not an understanding, but just him giving you a base timeline of what is going on. Right? And I'm not the only one who's covering this, right? It is massive. But do I think Elon helped Trump win the, if he's the main reason? I don't believe that. It was a factor, but it wasn't the main factor because there was a lot of people who just didn't want Kamala because people felt that Kamala would have just been an extension of Biden, especially if you follow more of the accelerates, that kind of position. Kamala would have just been the same old stagnation we saw under the Biden administration. Plus, I also do think that a lot of people who were initially going to vote for Biden switched over to Trump because they just didn't trust Kamala. Whether it's because she's you could say that she's not a seasoned politician, because she's a woman, because she's really not that smart as you think she is. There's a number of factors that led to people just not voting for Kamala. And people who would have normally voted for Democrat or Biden just end up just not voting at all, right? We had a lot of young people who just didn't vote for Kamala because of the whole situation with Palestine, right? There were that whole issue. Same thing, and then with Biden, right? A lot of boomers and a lot of like, I would say like early millennials, some and those generation of people just who would have voted for Biden, just either did not vote or just lied and either voted for Trump, right? You know, last minute voter change. Well, it is very common. You know, Elon has been privately saying he doesn't care about the EV tax credit, and this is probably what it is. He's probably just mad that, you know, it comes down to the tax credit that he probably would have gotten is not happening, and that's really what it came down to. It was just him just having a hissy fit on the grounds of this one particular bill, and he's calling for the senators to take it down, kill it before it get a chance. You know, and even like Trump straight up said this.
Leave my administration, and they love us, and then at some point they miss it so badly, and some of them embrace it, and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it. But we have it with others too. They leave, and they wake up in the morning, and the glamour's gone.
Yeah, and it's funny because I think what makes it funny is you got to remember Elon Musk is probably a low-cal. Like, I think he's probably the richest low-cal we ever seen, right? Even we don't include politics and we just include the stuff that has been going on relating to his baby mamas, relating to his son, relating to even asthma and gold. You can't deny that the man has become a low-cal. Like I truly do believe Elon has become one of the biggest low-cals in the last couple months. And it's just funny. And from what I understand, Trump is basically just taking it easy. Like he doesn't. It's not like he doesn't care. It's just like, it is what it is. Now I'm firmly okay with backstabbing technocrats because you should never trust a technocrat. And I feel like people who were surprised that Elon was gonna do something like this shouldn't be surprised because Elon is like a technocrat and they're notorious like backstabbers, and you should never. Like, you should keep them to the side and have them, but don't give them a lot of trust. And I believe, like, in the last couple of weeks, we're just kind of seeing that, where a lot of people are just slowly losing trust in Elon. I mean, people were already losing trust in Elon before this. And I think that's really what it comes down to. Right, at the first set of timelines, and we have another set that said Elon went as far as saying Trump would have, as we read that, Trump responded saying he doesn't mind Elon turning again, which is probably he knew. I think like Trump just knew Elon was gonna pull a sneaky move on him because he just felt that like whatever, he doesn't really care. And because I think what it is because again Elon has been going manic the last couple of days, last couple of weeks. Elon must have a black eye. The Elon Musk black eye a few days ago. He claimed it was from his child. Could be. I does that matter? Probably a joke. I don't know. Who cares? Alex Jones, the world stands on the brink of total destruction. Apparently, Elon says if he does have information, but this is public. Like people knew for the longest time about the Epstein stuff, but like from what we understand, he never went to the islands compared to other people. And people have been posting images of Elon with Epstein's ex-wife, Maxwell something. I can't remember her name. I'll look up the picture if I can find it. All right, because this is going to be a bit of a long... And this isn't the first one. Elon must say Trump terror will cause a recession. I mean, he said that a couple weeks ago, and things just went back normal. You know, for me, I'm perfectly fine with the recession happening now than later. I mean, it's only the first year of his last term anyway. So to me, it's like, let's fucking go. Elon Musk called for the impeachment of President Trump. I mean, of all the people, Ian Miles Chung, who's probably hated by even the most grifters of the grifters, like, he's heavily hated by even hardcore grifters. And you're siding with him? That's just so ridiculous. And then we have
I can't
Asmi.
afford the exterminator anymore. This is bad. This can't be real. Yes. Okay. So you've got this. This is crazy. Big traffic.
And probably the reason why there's so many people selling what probably doesn't really matter. Probably that a lot of the people who invested in Tesla were Trump supporters, and he just kind of felt betrayed with, Stephen Banner called for the deportation of Elon Musk. You guys can't even see that even. Oh my God, it's crazy. It is you know this is leading into a full-on war between Trump and Elon, and I'm perfectly here for it. Maybe some people think that I would really side with Elon. With no, like I always just found Elon to be just kind of like a freaking weirdo and a cry. I did defend him one time. Looking back at it now, probably wasn't the smartest move on my end, just because I kind of found the whole situation to be pretty funny. But now as I'm thinking about it, and this whole thing and him melting down, it's essentially like, let's go. Let's just keep going. Like, because even among Trump supporters, they had, I would say that a lot of the Trump supporters I've seen and interacted would agree that they never really trusted Elon, right? There was a sense of, is it really worth putting your back? And I think a lot of people knew that this was always going to happen, that a betrayal was going to happen, which is fine. I think that's a reasonable thing, right? I think that's very reasonable to assume that a betrayal was bound to happen between the two of them, right? Right? Like of all the people you're siding with, Ian Miles Chung, that's just ridiculous, right? That's just, in my opinion, it's just very ridiculous. You know, and the fact that even Elon called for the impeachment of Trump was even more nuts. It was insanity, right? Again, back with that, and then the fact that Stephen Banner is calling for the deportation of Elon Musk. It's just a funny situation where some people think it's a bit of a psyop, some people think it's a bit of something else completely different. I just see what it is as that Elon didn't get his way again. Because if you remember, and even something Melanie Mack and a bunch of people even noted was relating to the H1B, whether the H1B stuff, Elon was crying like a baby the whole time, right? And then we had the thing related to the tariffs, right? And then I believe in between the tariffs and the H1B situation, there was, I think, a few smaller things. So that's what's always going to happen. But I also think what it is on top of that is just a guy who is losing a lot of popular support. So as a way to recover, he's really siding with the left, just an attempt to recover his losses, which is like not a smart move, because I don't know. It's just a dumb thing. Now let's look at some other tweet from other people though. Now I want to look at Missouri Z or Dean, somebody who I follow and really kind of help. I would say more towards the last 5 years. It's probably 5 to 6 years. My bad. Changing a lot of how I see the world. Now obviously I was much more. I guess me and him sort of share the same space, and so on within a political sense. But him covering this stuff is comical. It's like, damn, this is hilarious. Dude should have just registered as a libertarian, but he could probably give them better odds, but then probably just going to end up handing over more elections. Yeah, like, and he's been calling out. Like, he's not the only one, but I think he's like a major person who kind of predicted this event was going to happen. Elon has shown himself to flip his politics and his allegations based on what's good for his pocketbook. We saw that when he went from Democrat darling to mega mouthpiece. He's always been a Tesla turncoat. Basically, like, if anybody, in my opinion, who's calling out the whole Elon shit better, is probably Missouri Z or Dean. Mr. Z is probably doing a hell of a better job because he's been heavily focusing and covering on this stuff for a long period of time. Probably better than most people. I mean, he made a good point that the Trump-Elon split was inevitable. At this point, I say it was safe to chip away from the tech right, which was really just an amalgamation of liberals who are too the chance with the Democratic Valley, but not committed. Yeah, yeah. Because believe it or not, the person that made Elon go quote unquote right wing was Sargon of Akkad. Yeah, of all the, from what I understand, a friend of mine was telling me that uh, Elon was watching some of, I think he was quoting and watching a lot of Sargon video, and that would made him turn quote unquote right wing. And here we are now. This is a good point. We don't want to see division in the movement, especially when we're just getting started. Still, we may maintain a firm stand on America first. The tech right needs to confirm to that. Not right. Yeah. And I think that's how I felt. That a lot of the techno right wingers or techno right or the technocratic rights, they're not really left wing particularly, but they're not really right wing in any sense that is like agreeable. Let me see. Let me see. I think there was the post I saw that I wanted to look at. Oh, it got shut down. Oh, I think we saw that like it was from some Democrat or just like killed the bill. Yeah, Lee is right. Trump did took a bullet. Elon said he wanted to replace you with chief foreign labor. I trust Trump. Yeah, I 100% agree with this. Right. You know, I don't know what else I can say. You know, right? I think that's. Let me see. I think Lavador, JD Vance right now. It's it's so crazy what is happening. JD Vance is probably like, no, daddy, mommy, don't fight, do not fight. Now, this video is going on longer than I. Oh no, at least the second part of the video is going on longer. Now, how do I feel about the situation as a whole? Truthfully, truthfully, we're gonna end this with Melanie Mac just because it'd be hilarious. Just because I wanna harp on the can't help but remember the Elon H1B meltdown over Christmas. Oh God, I love my life. But yeah, ultimately, I think that it's just a bit of a oh no, here it goes, a bit of release. Yep, see, you guys had 4 freaking years. And this is not your fight in any way. It really isn't, right? Like, I'm not the only one who felt that, like, if they wanted to release the files on Trump, they should have done it 2016, 2020. They should have done it right before the 2024 election. Like, I think it's just ridiculous, considering how JD fell on the H1B. I doubt he betrayed Trump over this. True, my very good friend has spoken very highly on Vince. I trust his judgment. Cato the Elder. Oh. But yeah, I think that's the best way I would explain it. If they wanted to release the files, why didn't you just do it the last 12 years? Oh my God, has it been 12 years already since Trump went into office? God. Yeah, I think, no, well, not 12 years, but 8 years. You know what I'm referring to. Not 12, 8 years. Truthfully, Elon is just having a baby fit. He's just crying because things are not going his way. He doesn't like how things are happening, and in the end of the day, this shouldn't be too surprising, right? If you're so like, if people are this surprised about this situation, then I don't know what to tell you, right? Elon is a notorious baby. Elon is a notorious flip flopper, right? You know, it's just like whatever, like, and obviously people do change, but like at the rate things are going, some people are saying that, oh, are they gonna kiss and make up? I'm not sure. Personally, it would be nice if he didn't, or at least if they do kiss and make up, Elon would have to follow Trump more and more of his own of Trump politics, and by that forcing the techno right to submit. But that's never gonna happen, right? The techno right are not loyalists. They're not in it for America first. They're not in it for the common person. End of the day, they're in it for the pocketbooks, right? No, I don't know what I can really say that maybe other people can say that I wouldn't trust a techno right, and I'm not the only one. I'm not sure how most of the people who are gonna find this video feel. I may just get a lot of shit for it, but in the end of the day, as I said, I voted for Trump for the last 3 elections, and I don't regret any of my vote. And I never voted for Elon. I kind of actually actively started to despise Elon more and more about this. It's also funny that Kanye want them to kiss and make up as well. Like, what the hell? We truly live in the best timeline. And honestly, I'm here for it. I'm 100% here for this event. Maybe some people may not like what I'm saying, and I may not actually really care. But I would say one thing: never trust a technocrat. That is something I've been saying all day. Is never trust the technocrats. They're not really our friend, right? They don't really care. They just want cheap labor and make money off of people back and ruin ruin your everyday person. You know, and maybe some of you will get offended. And I really don't give a shit. In the end of the day, we'll have to see how this plays out. Are they gonna get along? We'll wait and see. Is Elon going to throw a bigger hissy fit like he always does? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he probably is gonna keep throwing a bigger hissy fit just because he's not getting his way again. And I think for a lot of people who assume that the right is heavily divided, I think what it is that you have a general, if it comes down to it, and I'm gonna say this very carefully, I think what it is, there's a very vocal minority of the techno right that don't even make up much of the far, or make up not even really the far right, but just the general right wing in America. And I think that there's a vocal techno right, and the rest of the majority of the general right, which can be your like right wing liberal, your conservative, a bunch of people like that, are probably just are looking at this and laughing at the techno right for coping and seizing. Even if Elon makes a certain point here and there, which I can easily see, end of the day, acting like this and freaking out like this and being a baby is ridiculous. And if it really does show that Elon is probably the most richest and biggest low count we ever seen in our time. And in a way, Elon is probably the next Christian. And maybe some people may disagree with that. Personally, I'm here for it. I'm here for the total technocrat defeat. Maybe some may think I'm crazy. I don't think so. But till next time, be safe, be good, and God bless. Total Elon defeat.